What's up, Social? Roberts coming at you here with the Complete Athlete, and we are less than a month away. You heard me. Less than a month away from the opening day of our North Carolina turkey season. And if you're down south right now, I'm jealous because your season's already come in. But what are you doing preseason, guys? Okay, I talk to a lot of people, a lot of friends that love to turkey hunt, and sometimes I'm like, what are you doing? Are you working on your calls? No, I hadn't worked on my calls. I'll probably pick them up the night before, the day before. And I'm like, guys, what are you doing? Like, guys, this is the time right here to perfect your skills, right? To work on your craft. You see it. I'm working on it this morning. I got my Fred Cox cane calls, my tube calls, my David Hollering box call, my Doug Toddy tube call, Eastern Assassin. And I'm working on my sequence. I'm working on my cadence. I'm getting comfortable with running different calls because some of these calls may be new, right? I may have bought them this year. I may have bought them last year, but I didn't use them because I had another favorite call. And if you know anything about me, if you've ever been turkeying, I carry multiple calls. I got multiple box calls. I got multiple tube calls. I got a good push-pull I use. I got diaphragm calls, right? I got a slate call. You gotta have a variety. And no, you don't have to be the best turkey caller. You don't. You don't have to be the best turkey caller to be a great turkey killer. But what you have to do is you got to know how to call. You got to know when to call. You got to know the cadence of the call. And you don't learn that unless you practice, right? Unless you listen to turkeys, okay? So over the next couple weeks, I'm going to run you through some of my favorite calls. Some of the calls I use every year and have been using every year since I started turkey hunting when I was 8 years old. And hopefully some of these tips are going to help you be more successful in the 2020 season, okay? So stay tuned and we're going to jump right into it. So the first call we're going to be talking about is the box call right here, okay? I got a David Hollering box call, and I know it's subjective. I know it's all about personal preference when you're in the woods and the box call you use. My opinion, it's the best box call on the market. But you got to find one that you like, right? You got to find one that you can run, that you are comfortable and confident in running, because I think that's the most important thing. So we're going to go into a couple tips. I'm going to keep it short, I'm going to keep it sweet, and I'm going to keep it simple, okay? Number one, you got to find the sweet spot on your call, right? And what do I mean by that? When you're running your call, every yelp has two notes. It has a high end, a front end, and a low end on the back end. Yelp, yelp. Listen to a hen. Yelp, yelp, yelp. Right? So you got to be able to find that. You got to find that on your call, and so how do you do it? Me, no matter what I do, when I pick up a call for the first time, I'm looking for that sweet spot. All I do is I get the call, and I run it right across the lid, right across the body. You hear that? That's how you find the sweet spot, right? Because you're going to get that high end. You're going to figure out where that breaking point is and then where it goes to the low end. So that way, when you go to run your call, you know exactly where you need to start, because you don't want to start way up here, right? No, you don't want to start way down here. Doesn't sound like a yelp. You want to understand high end to low end. See what I'm saying? You got to figure out that break. You got to figure out where that sweet spot is on your box call in order to be successful. And you can even flip it around, right? You see how I'm running it right here? The majority of the times in the woods, I'm going to be running it upside down. Same thing. You know, you got to find that so that way when you pull it out and you get to working it, you got that high end and that low end. Find the sweet spot, and I promise you, your calling's going to get a lot better. Okay, so number two, right? And this is a big pet peeve of mine. I'm not going to lie. When I'm with people that turkey hunt, and I see them doing this, I just tell them to put their call in their pocket. I said, I got it. Don't worry about it. You put it up. When you're running a box call, and I want you to watch somebody who knows how to run one. When you run a box call, do you do this? Right? Do you lose contact with your lid in the body of your call? Do you do this circular motion? If you do, stop. Right? Stop it. Okay, number one, you don't have near the control on the call that you need to. Your cadence is going to be messed up. Your rhythm is going to be messed up. And you're not going to sound as good as you need to sound, okay? So let's show you how to be more successful. Let's show you how to get better cadence, how to sound better. When you're running a box call, this paddle, this lid, never leaves that body. Never. You keep constant contact, okay? Because you're going to be able to work on that cadence. You're going to be able to work on that rhythm. You're going to be able to control the sound and the call the way you need to. And it's going to sound something like this, right? So as you can see, that lid, when it's in a yelp, when it's in a sequence, it never leaves. Yes, on a cluck or something, you're picking it up, it's going to leave, but on a yelp, it's going to stay right there. So there's tip number 3, right? And this is going to be very important too. When you're running a call, where are your hands? Notice, when I'm gripping it on the bottom of the call, right? You can see right here, I got my middle finger going right down this side. And if you can see this back side, I got my thumb going right down the side of the bottom slab, okay? Why do I do that, right? And I don't grip it tight. Why do I do that? Control the sound, right? Control the sound. If you grip a box call tight, right, you're making a sound. If you muffle it, if you grip it tight, you're gonna change the sound of your yelp. So let's listen to this real quick. This is how I grip it. Okay, now listen to this, right? If I put a lot of pressure and I grip this body and I start muffling the sound, changing the sound, you hear that, right? I can even do this. So make sure when you're gripping it, make sure you're gripping it in the right place. For me, I like to put my thumb right here on this bottom slab, right here on the side, and I like to grip it softly, 1 or 2 fingers, maybe sometimes 3, right here on the other side. Not a lot of pressure, not a lot of surface contact, so that way I'm maximizing the sound of my call. And that way it's going to sound something like this. There you got it. And if you're someone that runs it upside down, which I run a lot of times, I run a lot of my boxes upside down, I just like to cut that way. Once again, you see on the side right here, nice and soft, loose up here. Okay, so there you got it, guys. Start utilizing those tips when you're running your box call, right? Find the sweet spot. Understand that two-tone note. Understand that you got to keep contact with the paddle and the body when you're running through your sequences. And lastly, understand the grip. Figure out where you need to grip it to maximize the sound that's coming out of your call. Because if you're putting a lot of pressure, you're putting your hands on the body, it's going to muffle it, and it's not going to sound like a turkey, okay? So there you got it. Robert's coming at you from The Complete Athlete. We'll have more calling tips for you as we move forward. But more importantly, get the calls out, get the work in, start perfecting your skill because turkey season is right around the corner. Y'all have an awesome time.